So our next stream game is from the winners section. This is a winners round 2 game. And getting us underway there was Matt Brierly. And he is playing Ronan McCarthy. And very similar to the last match, it's a case of two worlds colliding. Matt from the Tours from the EPA side, Ronan McCarthy from IPA Black Ball. There's some really great matches just getting underway. There's some still drawing to a conclusion on the loser section. Callum Singleton 7-6 up against Christy Coldfield. In fact, Callum, as I say, that wins, and table 11 will be clearing, and they'll be setting up the next game on that stream table. And the next game across on 11 will be Scott Gillespie versus Jordan Church. So the other games, Liam Dunster 7-5 up against Ben Davis. Lee Clough 5-1 up against Adam Penwell. Sean Story, and now those are the loser section games. Now the winners round 2. Sean Story 1-0 Toby Bolt. Jake Newlove, Dave Fernandez just started. Matt Farnsworth 1-0 up on Ben Tanner. And there's no other scores. Mike King playing Craig Brown, Carl Donahue playing Mark Fleming, Clint Aronson playing Tom Cousins, Liam White playing John Rowe, Darryl Whitworth playing Mark Boyle. Carl Sutton versus Jordan Shepherd. Jordan Shepherd has taken the first frame, and he's 1-0 ahead. And Declan Brennan is 1-0 ahead against Sean Chipperfield. John Rowe just taking the first frame against Liam White. So, again, we're up to date with all of the scores. And our players, Matt Brierly, 36 years old, he's nicknamed the Robot. He uses Tiger Q's Q with a 9mm tip. His achievements to date, various regional titles, national finals, but he's still waiting on a big win. Started playing age 16 at his local snooker club when he got his first pool table. When asked who's his greatest influence, he said with his record in finals, he'll say Jimmy White. He's come second so many times. Favourite player is Tom Cousins, because of his attacking style and always looks so relaxed at the table. The best opponent he's ever played against. It's Mick Hill. I'm sure most of you will be familiar with his opponent. Currently at the table. So, Ronan McCarthy. And that's not a miss that you ever expect to see from him. Not got the best of angles on the one to top left, so taking the one to middle, and he's going to screw back. Oh, he's not got that into that at all, has he? Not got into that. And on this grippy reactive cloth. Well, this is a tough shot now for Matt. Thin clip to left corner. Should naturally come around for the black, so I can focus on the yellow. I say should naturally come around for the black. He's come too far. So another tough pot to left corner. Nice clearance. I personally think that Matt's often very underrated in these fields. He's I've seen him play on the EPA. I've seen him play up in Savannahs and some of the comps that they've had up there, and he picks up some great results. Really tough opponent for anybody. And I know the bookie had Ronan as a 1-3 favourite before kick-off, but you know, never write Matt off. Really good player. And sadly, I can't run you through Ronan McCarthy's player's profile because, well, he never did one. He had one on there, but it was put up by George, the real number one. So they've taken it down now. But I can tell you that he's got a glittering career. Not so much in the way of majors, no world titles, but is widely known as one of, if not the best money match player. His record is phenomenal in money matches throughout the years, won many thousands of pounds, and he's good mates with Ronan McCarthy, and always interesting to get good friends with Mark Farnsworth. And Ronan's always really interesting to get in the commentary box because he's got so many stories. Very interesting man to listen to. His nickname's Babe. So he's broke dry in that frame. Brings Matt in with another pretty respectable opportunity here. He's chosen yellows. And the only ball which may cause any problem is the one to left corner down the side rail. But he's got a ball just near the middle bag that he can use to land on that, so I don't see this being a problem. Yeah, well, the problem now develops in that he has balls on either side rail, one on the left side and one on the right side. And if he leaves those two to his last two balls, then he's going to be finding it impossible to get from one to another. So quite rightly taking this one down the rail first. And he's going to try and screw back somewhere around about the middle of the table. Played that really well. If anything, come a touch too far, but won't be a problem. He can just pop this to middle and run down off the bottom cushion, back out into open play. Just a little delicate drag shot. Probably a little touch of side, and you can see, well, the side's gone the wrong way. The side's gone the wrong way. I mean, he's anywhere in that right-hand side of the table. Could have put a touch of left side on that and straighten the ball up. All he's got to do is drop the yellow in, and he's got the black in the middle. But for some reason, it seems to have somehow imparted a bit of right-hand side on the ball, and it's come pinged off back through that gap. Oh, what a shot. What a great shot. That was a brilliant recovery. Wow. That shot deserved to win the frame. And it's 2-0 to Matt Brierly. Solid break there from Matt, and he's going to take reds. Could definitely make a case for yellows. The two balls aren't dead set into a plant to top left, but very makeable. Felt that the pattern was slightly more natural for reds. Sean Story beating Toby Bolt 2-1. Dave Fernandez 2-1 up against Jake Newlove. Arf and Dad, Shane Thompson 1 each. Mark Farnsworth 3-1 up against Ben Tanner. Mike King 1 each against Craig Brown. Carl O'Donoghue 2-0 against Mark Fleming. Clint Hansen 1-0 against Tom Cousins. John Rowe 2-1 against Liam White. Mark Bordow with 1 each. Carl Sutton 3-2 against Jordan Shepherd. Declan Brennan 3-0 against Sean Chipperfield. And the Jordan Scott Gillespie game has just got underway on table 11.
Fourth frame, Ronan McCarthy to break training 3 frames to 0. Time run there.
So apologies, just stepped away for a quick break, and Brierly now 3-0. Ronan McCarthy has broken off. Okay, so Ronan is going to take yellows, takes the one long, and these are all on. They all have a pocket. The problem in this frame will be the little cluster around the black. Clint Jansen is 2-0 against Tom Cousins. And he looks like he means business this weekend. It's okay. It's just having an eager look. Didn't want to be hampered. He can cue between the two reds. He's deciding to take the other one first, which is equally fine. Just a half ball cut and a natural angle to come to side rail. And now just drop the yellow in for the black in the opposite centre. Good clearance. Gets himself on the board. Trails by 3 frames to 1. That's all he could do. And that will be breaking frame number 5. You can see table 11 in the background. Scott Gillespie is at that table. And that game is now underway. Jordan Church versus Scott Gillespie. Jordan Shepherd has drawn things level against Carl Sutton, having been 3-1 down. And there you see the other scores from around the room. Declan Brennan, 4-0 against Sean Chipperfield. And Declan showing a lot of class this weekend. Mark Farnsworth 4-1 against Ben Tanner. That one now I believe is 5-1. Jake Newlove all square against Dane Fernandez. Alf and Dad 2-1 up on Shane Thompson. Sean Story 3-2 against Toby Bolt. Toby Bolt was the favourite there, 4-6. I think Sean was 11-10. Disaster. Loses the white ball and gives Ronan a free go, and the Reds, well, they look like drop-ins. The only problem on the table really is the black, and he can use his free shot now to free it up. Clever shot. Made sure he stayed on the red. Open that pocket for the black. And maintain his nice angle. Declan Brennan now 5-0 against Sean Chipperfield. The man's on a mission. From what I've seen of Declan, the little bit I've seen of Declan in the money match he played, very classy player. Nice clearance from Ronan. Again, one of those, they're all there. They're simple enough, but you've still got to get them. Make no mistakes. And now he pulls back within one. And just a little crane of the neck as he's looking across to the other tables. Undoubtedly, he's got a betting slip burning a hole in his pocket. Loves a little punt.
Frame, Ronan McCarthy to break, trading 3 frames to 2. Time money. frames off. 5 minutes. Foul. Time out.
So apologies in the dead air. Just taking a quick opportunity to refuel, grab a bite to eat. Some pretty long days we have here. And when I say here, I mean Stoke-on-Trent, Newcastle-under-Lyme actually. It's Players Pool Series. Supreme Pool Series. Event 4. And the K8.com Classic. And this a winners round 2 match. Between Ronan McCarthy and Matt Brierly. Lots of games now in action. On table 11 you can see Jordan Church, Scott Gillespie, 2 frames each. Declan Brennan is now 7-2 up against Sean Chipperfield. McHill is playing an old practice partner of his actually. I know these two guys have played together many times over the years. McHill versus Sanjay Patel. Josh Kane, 4-2 up against Ben Rowland. Jordan Shepherd and Carl Sutton, 5 each. Dan Davey 3-0 against Stefan Rosidi. Darryl Whitworth 3-2 against Mark Boyle. I can tell you that Jordan Shepherd game, Jordan's just won the next frame and he leads 6-5. Tom Cousins now 2 each with Clint. Carl O'Donoghue 3-2 up on Mark Fleming. Mike King 4-2 up against Craig Brown. Farnsworth 6-2 against Ben Tanner. Arf and Dad 3-2 up against Shane Thompson. Dave Fernandez 4-3 up on Jake Newlove, and Sean Story and Toby Bolt tied up at 3 each. And those are the 16 games currently underway. So what can Matt do here? 2 balls tied up on the side rail. I don't think he'll necessarily try and move either, unless he can leave a nice angle on the red below the black to screw back into the one on the side rail. I think he will probably, well, that was a misjudgment. He's moved one of the balls, but he was trying to move the one just below the middle bag rather than the one above. And now he's left himself a long shot. Funnily enough, he has left himself another fairly natural angle that he could stun across and move that red on the side rail. You can dig into this. Makes it a slightly harder pot, but can play it with freedom, knowing that he's going to have a shot pretty much guaranteed if he makes it. He's missed that by a bit of a margin. Jordan Shepherd's already informed me that he's got a flight booked to Catalonia for 6 PM on Sunday evening. So if he makes it to the final, then I did say to him, "You'll be all right. The prize money will cover the 35 quid it costs to change your flight, mate. Shouldn't be a problem." And he had the cheek to say, "Yeah, but it's coming out of your half." Well, if you get to the final, I'll cover it. Nice clearance there. And it's 4 frames to 3 to Ronan. Jordan Shepherd now 7-5, and it's his break in the next. You can watch that table. I think that is table 3. No, table 4. Table 3 is Sean Chipperfield against Declan Brennan. Oh, that white looked like it was tracking straight up to the top corner and got kicked away. But he's dry. Matt Brierly needs to re-stamp his authority on this one. He was 3-0 up. He's lost 4 in a row, so he needs to stop the rot. No better time than now. Reds all look pretty good. A couple of balls on the rails, but shouldn't cause too much of a problem. It's a nice angle. So it just needs to screw back 6 inches. It's going to take the ball to top left. And as I say, just screw back 6 inches for the red. He decided he could just come across and just nudge one of the reds away, leave himself on this one to top corner. Personal preference. That's well controlled. And I mentioned these 2 balls shouldn't be a problem. He just needed to land on them well, and he has. So he shouldn't really be missing either of these. Doesn't have to do a great deal with the cue ball, with either shot. With this one, just make sure of the pot and screw back 6 inches. Cue ball back to where it is now would be just about ideal. There we go. I don't think that was too far away from where it was. Drop this up the rail, top through 9 inches. Jordan Shepherd on another clearance over on table 4. He's on his last yellow with the black. She dispatches, and from 5-all he quickly goes to 8-5. Meanwhile, on table 16, Matt Brierly finishes that clearance, and now he does indeed stop the rot. That was four in a row for Ronan, and now it's 4 frames each.
Ninth frame, Matt Brierly to break, 4 frames all. Time running.
So just drop this into middle, and literally just leave yourself this 3/4 ball cut to left corner. White naturally comes off one rail back to open play, and you can just drop this in. White through an inch, and simple black retakes the lead. Takes it 5-4, and also has the break in the next frame.
frame. Ronan McCarthy to break, leading 5 frames to 4. Time running. Seconds.
Ronan elects to go reds. This frame not without its problems. It could all be opened up here. Depends what shot he decides to play. I think he's just going to play a safety, isn't he? Yeah, no dramas there at all. No point trying to force the issue. He's ahead in the match, and he wants to cement himself there. Jordan Shepherd is now 9-6 up against Carl Sutton, and he's at the table on a clearance in the 16th frame. And he looks like he's flying at the moment. Took a good opener from Matt. But now an odds-on favourite for this frame. And good margin for error here. I think he's going to play for the gap, but certainly doesn't have to. Can play out to mid-table if he wants to. The gap it is. Looks for the world that the Ryder Cup is going to be split 2 points apiece in this afternoon session. And Europe will go into the singles tomorrow 10-6 ahead with a 4-point lead. How does that manifest itself into the bookmakers? I know that Europe were hot favourites. Indeed, they are 1, 2, 4. And the USA 8-1, 8.5-1 on Betfair. So Europe big favourites, but USA have the firepower to turn that around tomorrow. And Europe, of course, need 4.5 points to win. USA only need 4 points to retain, so could that play any part? Will be unveiled tomorrow. Look forward to keeping updated with that whilst we play out the final stages of this event, bringing the conclusion, the final due to start around about 8 PM tomorrow evening. Following a foul, Carl Sutton was pulled a frame back against Jordan Shepherd. He's within 2. Jordan still needs 2. Oh wow! Literally, I mean, I don't know what happened there. None of the timing went through the ball, or the pace. You could see his body went into it, his leg came up. Had all the pace, but it just Ronan just asking for the rack to be removed, and the lead ref Viv just saying it's too difficult to leave it on for now, but Ronan's saying he's going to play a ball. I'll tell you now, that's not going to come over the top. Not over 3 balls. He's going to have to chalk another one. Probably the red. If he chocks the red to the left, then it comes over the top. And again, you feel that sometimes it's a bit unnecessary, because the shot that Ronan will play in a minute will be a firm shot, and there's absolutely no way that the ball just doesn't deviate over this rack when it's at pace. When it goes over it gently, then it can deviate. So Ronan is going to play a shot in a minute to break that open. You can guarantee it won't be a dead weight shot. You can comfortably play balls over the top of the rack if they're at pace. And the ref forgot the cue ball. So Ronan wants to play reds here. No, he's just literally tortured the ref into removing that shark rack. And have a look at this shot, what he's going to play here. He would have moved everything away from the shark rack, and the ref could have removed it now, and there would have been absolutely no danger of anything deviating at that pace. It's just a lack of experience. Someone like Chris Melling, Darren Appleton, Jason Shaw, who are used to using them, even Mick Hill, they wouldn't have asked for it to be removed there. They'd have just played the shot first. Nice shot there. It's coming back across to split open the red and black and left a perfect angle. He's let that one go and went straight to head. Wondering what happened there, but do you know, is there a gap? That angle suggests not. Whether there was a gap for the red between the other two reds to top corner. Meanwhile, over on the other table, Jordan Shepherd 9-7 up against Carl Sutton and snookered himself on the black and fouled getting out of the snooker, so there's another frame pretty much handed to Carl Sutton on a plate, and he's going to draw back within one, and that game's still very much live. Jordan Church has won 2 in a row against Scott Gillespie and is now 4-all. Mick Hill 3-2 against Sanjay Patel. Josh Kane 6-5 against Ben Rowland. Dan Davey 6-2 up against Stefan Rossidi. Darryl Whitworth 5-3 against Mark Boyle. Liam White is losing to John Rowe 8-3. Tom Cousins, Clint Jansen 4 each. Mark Fleming 5-3 against Kyle O'Donoghue. Mike King on the hill against Craig Brown 10-3 up, and he's having a good weekend, Mike King. Mark Farnsworth 8-5 against Ben Tanner. Shane Thompson 5-3 up against Arfin Dad. He was losing in that. Jake Dillon Newlove was a couple behind Dave Fernandez, and they're 6-all. Sean Story 5-4 against Toby Bolt. Well played by Ronan. Oh my goodness. That white just for a split second looked like it was tracking towards the middle bag, but no such problems. This straight black. Only a kick between him and victory in the frame, where he takes the lead at 6-5.
Frame. Ronan McCarthy to break, leading 6 frames to 5. Time running. Time out. Time running. Seconds.
Try break from Ronan. Matt at the table. Reds look pretty good. And this could soon be 6 apiece. Really just about connecting the dots. May choose to screw back into the black. Does indeed. Nothing could really go wrong with that shot. It was always going to be on this red to right centre. Just needs to play this thin and then run up the back of the yellow somewhere round about the bulk line, just right of what would be the green spot. Perfect. technical stuff from Matt. Staying in this game, very much still a feature, 6 frames each. Making it tough for Ronan.
Frame, Matt Brierly to break, 6 frames off. Time running. Foul. One free shot, one visit. Time running.
Another mistake on the break. Matt really goes in off. And Ronan just promotes one of the reds. And again, they're all on. Talking about all on. Carl Sutton was on a clearance in that match against Jordan Shepherd. And he broke down. And Jordan taking advantage. And he's got a chance now to go on the hill. Taking the bottom one of the two reds. Just would have been concerned about that yellow moving towards the red, but it's absolutely fine. Now he can take the red to left centre and just bunt the black and leave himself on the one to bottom right. And Jordan Shepherd did make that frame and get himself onto the hill, so he's 10-8. Shane Thompson 5-4 up against Arthur and Dad. Tom Cousins, Clint Hansen 5 each. Jake Dylan Newlove 7-all against Dave Fernandez. Mike King is through. I think he won 11-3. Nice frame from Ronan. Takes the lead again, 7-6. Everything going against the break at the moment. McHill now 5-2 against Sanjay Patel. Scott Gillespie, Jordan Church 5 each. Shane Thompson wins another one as 6-4 now against Arthur Dad. Mark Farnsworth is through against Ben Tanner, and that Mike King result was 11-4 against Craig Brown. Mark Fleming making a big comeback against Carl O'Donoghue. He's 6-4 up. Clint Jansen is 6-5 against Tom Cousins. John Rowe 9-4 against Liam White. Darryl Whitworth 6-4 up on Mark Boyle. Dan Davies 7-4 against Stefan Rosidi. Declan Brennan, he must have been in a hurry against Sean Chipperfield. He won 11-3.
Ronan McCarthy the break, leading 7 frames to 6. Time on it.
Ronan's turn to break, and he does make a ball and keeps a safe white. Again, Ronan keen to get that shark rack off the table. Red's definitely the better choice of ball, but neither are great. And he's tried to screw into the pack, and somehow he's come through the gap between those two yellows above the black into the middle bag. I mean, how has he made it through that gap on a line between the side rail and the middle bag? You would not think that there would be a gap through there.
Extension called.
Jordan Shepherd has won against Carl Sutton. 11 frames to 9, and he goes through to winners qualification. One more game, and he's in the last 16. Oh, that was a good shot from Matt, but the red has come over to cover the path through to those two yellows, and I don't think he's got a shot here. I don't think he's got anything. Game still on stream. Jordan Church v Scott Gillespie on table 11, and this game in the main arena. You see Carl Sutton walking into the background, looking reflective, probably ruining a couple of missed chances against Jordan Shepherd. But, he'll get another life in the losers section. A lot of games locked together. Nothing between any of these games, really. If you want to keep up to date with any of the scores, then you can do so on qscore.com. No. Wonder what Ronan's plan is. I have to say that I don't reckon either of those reds go to the bottom corner, and looking at this shot, they definitely don't, because he's just going to play a little containing shot. Similar shot to the one he played a second ago. Containing, but just slightly more aggressive, just trying to develop those two reds, but they remain safe. Now, can Matt play into the yellow on the left-hand side and just run the white ball in behind the other yellow? I think there's just enough room to squeeze in behind it. It's good effort. It's got it. That's a great shot. And you can see Ronan tapping the table, because that is firmly behind that ball. There's no escape to the side cushions. Wow. Ronan can go top cushion, side cushion and out, but with the top cushion being so close to the cue ball, this is really difficult to judge. Played it well. That's a great effort, but it's not any good for him. Those balls still tucked in behind the pack. Dave Fernandez has won the next frame against Jake Dillenulov and is 8-7 ahead. Well, there's a miss. I think he's done too much damage. Still balls tied up this cluster. Neither player wanting to break it open yet until they give themselves a distinct advantage. Ronan looking here for a double-double. He's going to have to... Yeah, he's going to play this to bottom corner. Try and take the bag. Does so successfully. Tough shot here from Matt, especially with the referee counting down. His head's in the way, I can't quite see. Oh, what a shot. What a shot. Came round off two cushions. That really is a top quality shot. This yellow will squeeze by that red, and that's the frame. That's the only way he could get that. Had to come round and just cannon the black. Brilliant clearance. Yeah, little round of applause and well deserved. 7 frames each.
7 frames all. Time running. Extension call.
Big double to go for Matt. And that may well have handed the frame over to Ronan, because all of these reds go. Pretty sure the red's top right pass is above the yellow. Wow. That's it. I wonder if he was just trying to nudge onto it, just nudge it up another inch or two to make sure it did go. Looked like he was looking at it very keenly, so maybe it doesn't go. Interesting. I think he's come too far. I do believe that goes off the back of the yellow, but I think he's come too far to find that potty angle now, and now he's left with a plant. And just potting the red alone off the back of the yellow would be difficult enough, but to try and do it as a plant, this is now very tricky. Big shot this. Second prize. He's got the pocket, but I think one of these two yellows will soon be fired up the rail inside that red. The one on the rail. No. No, that's no good. Caught the point of the middle knuckle. get through it. And, it's very tough. Red to bottom right corner. Both players handing the baton to each other. Mark Boyle is currently trailing Darryl Whitworth 7-6. Darryl Whitworth having a very good tournament so far. So an unforced error from Ronan McCarthy gave this chance to Matt. He goes all around the world to land perfectly on this yellow, and he can take the lead for the first time in quite some time. He was 3-0 ahead, but never been ahead since. Nip and tuck game, still anybody's.
Ronan McCarthy to break, trailing 8 frames to 7. Time running. Time
Ronan, just trying to drop the yellow in the middle. Just caught the other yellow on the way past. And it dipped towards the knuckle, top knuckle, knuckled out. So it gives Matt not a great chance, but he'll just be happy to be at the table. That one he just went in off the knuckle. Probably had a kick because immediately asking for the cue ball to be cleaned. Normally a good indication that a player's had a kick. So it looks like he's going to try and pop the right hand red to top right, screw across into the ball near the rail to nudge it out. Looks like he's got a fairly natural angle to do that, and he does it really well. Perfectly full ball contact, which guaranteed him position on the other red to middle, and this should be a formality. Another good shot. Matt, well, by his own admission, he'll probably admit to underachieving a little bit so far in this series. But this is the first time he's been on this main arena table, and he settled to it immediately. As I say, he got out to a 3-0 lead, and Matt showing what he's capable of once the cameras are pointed at him. This is really good stuff from him. Still needs to get a couple more frames to get across the line, but showing great performance so far. Real heart.
leading 9 frames to 7.
Now you hear the referee clearly say, 17th frame, Matt Brierly to break. Another big break. He's only a small fellow, but he can generate some pace. Would love to go yellows. Needs to find an opener.
10 seconds. Extension call.
So just looking back through the chat, I'm getting accused of not reading it. I have been, but usually if I've got a co-commentator, I can keep an eye on everything, but a little bit more difficult this weekend because we've got, it's just me at the moment, so I'm going to try and keep my eye on the game and call the shots and keep my eye on the other scores and check my bet and slip and have a drink and munch a sweet and you know what it's like. So someone asked what the cloth was called. At the moment it's the Strachan Superfine. I'm not sure if that's going to be the end name for it, but it's called Superfine at the moment. Wow, and someone posing the question about USA and Europe. Are they more worlds apart in Ryder Cup or Mosconi Cup? Well, I must admit I don't profess to know too much about golf, but I would have to say that the USA are not even close to Europe in the Mosconi. I don't know where their next win's coming from, and I mean, it still gets the viewing figures, it still gets the numbers turning up. I'll certainly be going this year. I'd like to go next year as well, but I don't know where the USA's. I mean, they've obviously tried to bring in a new manager, a European manager, just trying to inject a new sort of team ethos into the players, but I don't know. They don't think and act the same way. I mean, you look at our boys, Appleton, Melling, Shaw. Whenever they go anywhere, they travel together. They're good mates. Now, Appleton, Melling almost certainly won't make the team. Shaw, I think, almost certainly will. But you can guarantee those two boys will be down there cheering on. And that camaraderie between those Brits, it extends itself throughout the rest of the team. And you had young Joshua Filler last year. You know, I mean, we've got a lot of talent in Europe, but I don't think it's just the talent. On a table, man for man, they're every bit as good. There's no question. But it was when it comes to that team ethic and standing up for your mates, and that's what the Ryder Cup's all about as well. So I don't know. I'd actually like to see America get closer to us. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't want to see them win it. I love the fact that we're dominating, because they dominated us for a long time. And I'd love to see us continue to win. And I take quite a lot of pleasure from their pain, because, you know, we went through it after all. It's almost like the cricket, isn't it? We went through a lot of pain watching Australia and West Indies absolutely batter our boys for year after year. And now the tables have turned slightly, and now we're on top. And, you know, the debacle with the Australians last year, I mean, it's quite easy just to sit back and almost take a bit of pleasure from it. Just having gone through years of suffering, watching them batter us into submission. And it's very much the same for the Mosconi Cup for me. But it would be nice if it was more competitive, because the last few years have just been farcical. And I can honestly see at some point in the next couple of years, if it continues to be so farcical, that Barry Ham may just say, let's try and find another opponent. Let's go to Asia and see if there's see if they can put up a more exciting game. I don't know. I don't know what kind of crowds that would attract. There's always a good crowd at Ali Pali. I don't think the crowd's so good when you go over to Vegas. I don't think there's so much interest. There's obviously so much going on in Vegas. Everywhere you look, there's entertainment. There's probably UFC going on and boxing, and then there's, you know, there's all kinds of live shows and the, all of the Cirque du Soleil shows and live music and so on and so forth. And it's hard to grip people's attention and get them to actually travel to Vegas just to watch the Mosconi. So it's not, I don't think it's quite so popular over there. I don't think the Americans hold it in quite such high regard as we do. But I mean, I for one, I'm a massive fan of the Mosconi. I think I've watched every single Mosconi since it started. It's funny how Ronan asked for the rack to be moved, and a lot of players would stand over the table using the opportunity to work out their pattern, but no such thing from Ronan. He goes back and sits in his seat and relaxes. There's Ronan waiting patiently, and in the background you can see table 11. That's the back of Jordan Church, and now Scott Gillespie prowling the table. Scott Gillespie is 9-7 up against Jordan Church now. Mick Hill 8-4 up against Sanjay Patel. Josh Kane 10-9 against Ben Rowland. Dan Davey 10-5 against Stefan Rosidi. Darryl Whitworth 9-7 against Mark Boyle. Clint Hansen 9-8 against Tom Cousins. Mark Fleming has beaten Kyle O'Donoghue. Now that would have broken a few people's betting slips for sure. Shane Thompson 8-7 against Arfin Dad. And Sean Story, Toby Bolt locked at 9 each. And a couple of times now you've seen the referee removing the rack, and two things noticeable. The first one is we barely had that over the weekend, and I think it's comes down to Ronan. He is one of the weaker aspects of his game is his break. I think he'll openly admit to that. Well, massive cheer in the background from somebody getting excited. I think that may well have been their betting slip coming in, or maybe football, don't know. That's a great shot from Ronan. Had to play it with check side, and this shows the character of the man. Dan Davies just beaten Stefan Rosidi. Maybe that was what the cheer was about, but I don't think so. A simple black for 9 each. Apologies if I deafened you. I just had to get up and reset something, and I thought I muted myself, but I must have missed the button, and then I dropped the headphones on the floor, so that was the bumping you heard.
Frame, Matt Brierly to break. 9 frames all. Time running.
9 frames each. Matt to break. And that's dry. Everything moving, but nothing in the pocket. Scott Gillespie has always been bossing that game against Jordan Church. And at 9-7, that one drawing near a conclusion. I see behind that Mark Boyle is at the table, and he's now trailing Darryl Whitworth 9-7. So differing fortunes for the two Scotsmen. Tom Cousins against Clint Jansen, 9 apiece. Nothing between them. Shane Thompson and Arthur Dad, 8 apiece. Nothing between them. And Sean Story, Toby Bolt, 9 apiece. And of course this game, 9 each as well. So some really good matchups. It's going to be people sweating betting slips. None for me this weekend, I'm afraid. Had a few little accumulators and seem to have done my usual. And I think I should just stick with doubles. If I put on a treble, then one lets me down. If I put on a fourfold, then one lets me down. So I put on a fivefold, and then of course one lets me down. What's the saying? Even a blind squirrel can find the odd acorn. So if I just keep, just keep battling on, bound to get one eventually, aren't I? Not having to use his extension, taking some time. His obvious problems lie in the red being over the corner bag, but he's going to look at nicking this one in the middle, and almost certainly going to well, has he missed the red altogether there? He might be okay, you know. I think he can skill shot the yellow on top of the red. If he doesn't think he can, he's got half a chance at a plant. And if he plays the plant, he can try and come back around and land on that yellow closest to the rail. But thinks he can skill. Big shot. Oh yeah. He's not come high enough. He got the skill, and he needed to come another 4 inches higher. So he's going to be left with this tricky little plant now. It is just off straight, but the trouble is, if he was right behind this, I would say it's an absolute gimme. But playing it from above, very tricky shot. One saving grace is he's got cover. But the two yellows on top of the red. Lots and lots of games starting up in the losers section. Hibbert Toomey, Whelan Warne, Riley King, Milo Duffy, Fitzsimmons Marsh, Ryan Fleming, Rob Chilton, Jez Graham, Carl Boys, Schofield Croxton, Ali Waddingham. I think the next stream game on here is going to be Craig Batten against Craig Lakin. Think. McQuillan Robinson, Clark McNamara, Cooper Leary, Joe Prince, Carl Morris, Callum Singleton, Matt Lawrenson, and Liam Dunster, Lee Clough. So all those games starting, getting underway, or waiting for tables. See that Darryl Whitworth game still going on against Mark Boyle. Mark Boyle's drawn things level after being 9-7 behind. Clint Jansen has gone on the hill first, and he's 10-9 against Tom Cousins. I think that's going to be hill. Arf and Dad now 10-8 up against Shane Thompson. They were 8 each just a minute ago. Sean Story against Toby Bolt, 10 frames each. Total called. Expect him to get pretty close with this. It's going to be snookered again. So Matt with his back to the wall in this frame. Converging just outside the arena. Notice two players from the different sections. Greg Batten, who will be next up on this table, talking to Jordan Shepherd, who is through to winners qualification. Both with a very different agenda for today. It's been action thick and fast for the losers. And I can see Scott Gillespie, who's 9-7 ahead, and he's currently at the table. Josh came through against Ben Rowland. Early frames in the losers side. Richard Toomey is beating Gareth Hibbert 1-0. Mick Hill is now on the hill on the winner's side against Sanjay Patel. Paul Riley is 1-0 against Richard King. What a great shot that was. Double. And in off the yellow. And he's got another tricky one here. He could play the double. I think it goes, but I think he's going to prefer the cut. This is a big shot. Oh wow, he's played it off the red. Missed the red altogether. Done the hard work. Paul Riley 2-0 up. Gareth Hibbert 1-1. Lee Clough 1-0 against Liam Dunster. David McQuillan and Gavin Robinson just been called to the table. Matt Schofield's won the first frame against Jimmy Croxton. So all those games in the very early stages. Just look across at table 11. And yeah, Scott Gillespie has picked up that frame, and he's now 10-7 up and on the hill against Jordan Church. Darryl Whitworth and Mark Ball still locked up at 9s. Clint Ianson and Tom Cousins. I did suggest that was going to go hill, and it has. And Matt missed his chance in this one. Ronan McCarthy makes no such mistake. And he finishes it off. You just saw over Matt Brierly's shoulder there was Aaron Davis. He's watching on. There's Aaron, just above the TV, otherwise known as Screech. If you remember Screech from the TV program Saved by the Bell, he looks a dead ringer. Aaron, I think this is the first one he's played. He's joined us late. There you see at the top all of the early games, and at the bottom all of the lasting games from the winners section. So Clint Ianson against Tom Cousins. I guarantee there'll be a decent crowd around that table. Table 12. So Arf and Dad 10-9 up against Shane, but Shane's battling back. That's on table 5. There you see. Darryl Whitworth is setting up the balls in the next frame, so be interesting to watch to see who won that last frame. Because they're 9-all. Right, will Matt get another chance? And as has happened on a number of occasions, those balls just don't want to clear the rack, do they? And Ronan loses the cue ball. So, is this game going to go hill? Mark Boyle it was who won that frame against Darryl Whitworth, and he leads 10-9. Clint Ianson and Tom Cousins still 10 each. We watched that one with great anticipation. I've got Tom Cousins in the grabber group, so have a passing interest in that one. I can't remember who I got in the sweepstake. Absolutely no idea. So let's see how he's going to use this free visit. prediction. Again, could make a case for either because the yellow towards the right-hand rail passes into middle. You could just play it off the yellow, but it's going to be reds. Big chance here to get on the hill. It's all about these two balls on the right-hand side rail. Now Shane Thompson and our fan Dad locked together at Hill Hill. Sean Story came through against Toby Bolt. That was also Hill Hill. Amazing how many games are going so close. Just these last couple of balls for Matt to also take this to a Hill Hill game. You see on the left side of the screen Declan Brennan with his girlfriend. Matt taking a lot of care over this one. Only got 5 seconds. Oh, goodness me. Well, that was a clever little shot, wasn't it? He knew that he couldn't screw up inside. He couldn't play the bottom one of the two and screw up inside the other one. So he played it as a little cannon. And the referee was literally on 1 second when he played it. Scott Gillespie has beaten Jordan Church. But it's this long red to top corner for Matt Brierly. He's made it. What a great shot. And this is another one that's going to go all the way to the wire. Brilliant stuff from Matt. 10 frames each, and we have a decider. Wow. Tom Cousins has beaten Clint Jansen 11 frames to 10. So, in that tense game, Tom comes through on the winner's side, and he progresses into winner's qualification. Just realised my horse in the sweepstake is Rob Chilton, who's currently playing Ryan Fleming. He's 2-1 behind. Gareth Hibbert, 2-1 up against Richard Toomey. Rob Warren, 2-1 up against Jack Whelan. Paul Riley, 3-0 up against Richard King. Adam Marlowe 2-1 up against Ian Duffy. Ryan Fleming 2-1 up against Rob Chelton. Carl Boys 1-0 against Jez Graham. Matt Schofield 2-1 against Jimmy Croxton. And Ian Alley 1-0 versus Craig Waddingham. All the other games are either just underway or not underway yet, apart from Liam Dunster and Lee Clough, who are 1 each.
21st and final frame, Matt Brierly to break, 10 frames all.
Your
9 minutes.
streamed games on the main arena: Greg Patton versus Craig Lakin. And table 11, Simon Fitzsimmons, Craig Marsh. This a massive break for Matt. Can he find the ball? He raises his palms in frustration. Neither player have timed the ball particularly well. Quick look at that scoreboard. So this is the opportunity that Ronan McCarthy would have been looking for. Matt Brierly can only sit in his chair and hope that he gets a similar opportunity. I think the black goes to left corner, so I'm just looking. Well, it can't have, is all I can say, because Ronan choosing to punch into the black, open things up, and he really has opened up this frame now. You have to wonder whether Matt's going to get back to the table. This looks, for the world, to be a dot-to-dot finish. The only problem I can see that might hamper him is the red ball just above the bulk line. It doesn't go to left corner. It will go to right corner, but I think he's got to move that ball to the right, nearest the right pocket first, to clear the path. So what he's going to do here, he's going to knock this into top right, come back down somewhere just around where his tip is now, just below there. So probably, you know, where the cue ball is now, he wants to come down another 12, 15 inches from there. Ideally leave himself straight on the red to left corner. Well, he chose a different route. Felt it was going to be easy to cannon the ball. And it's come out nicely. Ronan McCarthy, an old campaigner, would have been in this situation hundreds of times before. all looks very simple. Punches that ball through. Now, just needs to screw back. Just needs to make sure he doesn't quit on the shot. Play right through the cue ball. Screw back 4 inches. Perfect. And commiserations to Matt. He's put up a really good performance here. Ultimately, it's his break that's cost him. And hats off for putting up such a great showing on this main arena table. But it's Ronan McCarthy who goes through on the winner's side. We'll be with him in just a few minutes in the interview room. And next up on the stream table, Greg Batten versus Craig Lakin. Look forward to that one. See you then.
We're joined by Ronan McCarthy, who's just had a thrilling match over Matt. How did you think it went for you? I mean, it's a tough one.
It's very tough. He's a very good match player. He gives you nothing easy. He played well. It was a good match. I made a couple of silly mistakes, and he maybe made a couple. But apart from that, it was pretty good. Yeah. Whoever broke seemed to have a disadvantage because he was breaking good enough, and I was clearing, and then I was breaking dry, and he was clearing. So in that match, I was definitely a disadvantage to break.
And now how it panned out, it was his break in the 21st
and
frame.
The decider, I'm nearly glad it was his break because again, he's broke dry. All the one that was a chance, and just lucky enough he broke dry and got the chance. That's all you want in the 21st frame.
You worked out your pattern and you took him one. You had to get low, didn't you, on the last red, otherwise you were getting to yellow. So
yeah, I thought if I flicked the ball out, I was always on the other one to the middle, so I just thought it was the percentage shot to play, because if I don't get the right angle playing onto the ball, then I'm in big trouble, so it actually worked out really well.
Yeah, for me it was a game of momentum swings. He went out to a 3-0 lead. He seemed to settle on the table immediately.
He played well the first three.
Yeah.
I missed a ball in the first frame, and then I never got a shot. It was 3-0 down.
I mean, hats off to him in some ways, because I think that's the first time he's played on that arena table.
Yeah.
So
He's a solid player. He keeps coming. He doesn't get phased. That's the first time I played him, I think, and he impressed me there.
yeah.
Good player.
I think a few people were surprised at the choice of putting that match on, because there were some great matches. I think Cousins
I
was
was
quite
actually
nice.
surprised myself.
But we want to get these matches on, and I knew it was going to be a tough opponent for you. And you
Yeah,
probably
it
don't
was.
know much of Matt, but I know Matt from playing on the EPA side, and he's solid as a rock. And
Oh, absolutely.
you're
yeah.
solid, so it was always going to be like
Yeah.
a big clash
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, very underrated player for me. I think he's one of the top players for me on the tour.
Yeah, because you never really hear him much of him. Like he's been around for years, but you never, he should be doing better. If he can keep playing like that, it'll be.
Yeah.
He plays a few money matches, and I think he does well in them. He doesn't make any.
He's the type of boy
mistakes by
you would want to bet in a money match, because he's going to.
Try
He doesn't play silly shots, and he plays the game well. Like he's really solid.
Yeah.
But for you, you're now one match away to qualify for the last 16. Is it Mike King you've got next?
Is that who it is?
He's like part of the furniture in the last 16 now, isn't he? You just
Well,
seem to have this knack of getting there.
Yeah, well, the last one had a bit of a disaster, the last one, but sort of saving myself for the next one.
Grand final.
I don't want to burn myself out.
He's got his plans ready for his extension. He's going to build on his mansion.
It's just a wee warm up here for the next one.
Yeah.
But how did you find the cloth? I mean, I've asked
I
most of the
think the cloth's lovely. I said to you a couple of days ago, or the first day I got here, I thought some of the cushions were a wee bit spongy, but they seem to be bedding in well now. And the cloth is probably as nice as you'll get. Very responsive. You can play any shot you want on it.
Yeah, well, it's
But
good to
very
hear.
nice. Yes, everyone's just a touch. It's what you want.
Yeah,
to be
because you
playing.
haven't got. If you've got to put too much power,
You don't
lose
have
your
to force.
technique.
You don't have to force anything. Yeah, everything's just nice touch. It's good, great cloth.
Okay.
As good as you'll get.
Brilliant. It's good to hear. Next match up is Greg Batten against Craig Lakin, and that'll be in a few minutes' time. I'm sure that'll be another cracking match. So put the kettle on and get ready. See you shortly.
Bye-bye.